Hello everyone, welcome to day 6. Today we're going to be going over integration by parts. Integration by parts is useful when you're integrating a multiple of two functions where those two functions are of different type. So for example, you could have a trig function multiplied by a linear function. You could have a log function multiplied by an exponential function. So it's just good to use when you have those types of situations. Okay, and this formula has not been easy for me to memorize, so I spent some time trying to develop a mnemonic phrase to help remember it. I did find one in Spanish, so I'm going to share that one first, and then I'm going to share the one that I came up with. So the one in Spanish is Un día vi una vaca vestida de uniforme. And here you just need to remember this part here and the equal sign, and then you have this here. And you could see the U, the D, the V, U, V, V, D, U. So this could help you memorize the formula. And another one that I came up with in English is use Danny's vase until Violet's vase dries up. Okay, I'm going to use a different color to circle the letters. So you could see we have the U, the D, the V, U, V, V, D, U. And then you would just need to remember where you have the subtraction, the equals, right? And so let me know if you guys could come up with some other ones. This was kind of a little fun. It was challenging, but it was kind of fun to do this part. Okay, now let's jump into some examples. So let's write the formula again. So it was use Danny's vase until Violet's vase dries up. And the first thing you need to do is identify your U and your DV. And I like to write it this way. That way I just have everything like that I know I'm going to need laid out. And so I'm going to set U as T. And then let's set dv as e to the power of 9t. I think this is the best way to do it because if you set dv to t, you're going to have to use a t squared over 2, and that makes it a little more messy. Where if I set u to e to the 9t, I set u here, I set e to the 9t as dv or u, it's not going to make much of a difference because I'm still going to end up getting a similar kind of number because the derivative of e to the 9t is really just itself. And then here I need to divide by 9. I'm getting the integral of dv. That's what I'm doing here to get my v. And so then it's e to the 9t over 9, right? Because of the chain rule, you would get 9 times e to the 19, and you would need to divide it by 9 in order to get this, right? So working backwards, just make sure that when you get the derivative of this, it should equal your dv. And then here du is t, so du is just 1 dt. Okay, and then now you just plug everything in. So now this is going to be equal to u, which is t, times v, which is e to the power of 9t over 9. And then there's a minus here. The integral of v, e to the 9t over 9 times du, which is just dt here. And then I'm just gonna bring this down. Minus, I'm gonna bring the 1 over 9 to the front here. the integral of e to the 9t dt. And now we just get the integral of this here. So I'm going to bring this down. I like to bring everything down just to keep everything organized, right? And then e to the 19, what's the integral of that? We already did it earlier, right? So it's e to the 9t over 9. And then we still have the 1 over 9 in front. And then let's just simplify this. So this is going to be t times e to the 9t over 9 minus e to the 9t. 9 times 9 is 81. 1 over 9 times 1 over 9, right? It's 1 over 81 plus c, and that is your answer. Okay, now let's try another one. I'm going to write the formula again. So it's use Danny's vase until Violet's vase dries up. Okay, now I'm going to identify my u and my dv. But let's just write everything out to keep myself organized. So similar thing here, I want to set my u to x because then my derivative is very simple. It's just dx, right? Because the derivative of x is just 1 dx. And then my dv is going to be sine x. And then to get my v, I get the integral of this. So the integral of sine x is negative cosine x. And that's because the derivative of cosine is negative, and that's why I add the negative. So then when I get the derivative of cosine, it's negative sine x to ensure that I get a positive sine x. Now we just plug everything in. So it's going to be x times, and then the minus, don't forget the minus. So when you do these memorizations, it's just important to remember where you have that minus sign and where you have the integral signs. Okay, so it's u times v, which is negative cosine x, minus the integral of v, which is negative cosine x, times du, which is dx. So I'm going to bring that negative out to the front. And I'm going to bring that negative out to the front. So it's negative x cosine x. Negative times negative is a positive, so this turns into a positive. The integral of cosine x is sine x plus c. And there's your answer. Okay, last one here. Let's do this again. So we're going to use Danny's vase until Violet's vase dries up, right? Integral goes here and minus goes here. Now let's see. Our u, our dv, du, we're going to need, and we're also going to need v. Okay. So here, the rule basically is if you have a log, you want to set that as your u for the most part, right? So ln t, the derivative of, okay, let's first identify dv, and we're going to be setting t to the power of 8 as dv. Derivative of ln t is just 1 over t dt. And then our v here, we're going to add 1 and then multiply by the reciprocal. So this is going to be t9 over 9. Okay, now let's plug everything in. And we get u ln t minus v t to the 9 over 9 minus the integral of v, which is t to the 9 over 9, du, which is 1 over t dt. And please excuse my kids, they're making a lot of noise. Hopefully you can't hear them. Okay, so let's go. Let's finish this up. So this is ln t times t to the 9 over 9 minus, I could simplify this, right? This is going to be t to the 8. And I'm going to bring that 1 over 9 to the front. And then this becomes just t to the 8 dt. And now let's get the integral of that. Bring everything down. And we did that already earlier, right? That's the cool thing. I love when this happens. And so this is going to be times t to the 9 over 9 because that's the integral of this. Let's just simplify. T to the 9 over 81 plus c. That's your answer. And I'll see you all tomorrow.